Hey guys, I wanted to film part two. See, most professionals would edit that out, but I'm real, so I'm like choking. Okay, so part two of my brush review was 15 minutes and a few seconds, and you can't go over 15 minutes. So I'm going to go very quickly because this was the meaty part of my review of my brushes, and so I'm going to redo it. So let's get to it. All right, first of all, containers. So let's look at containers. One of the best containers for brushes, obviously you've seen roll-ups for brushes, you've seen fold over pouches where you have the brushes in there and then flip, and it's usually got a magnetic or a Velcro or a tie, and that is where the brushes are. But SigmaBeauty.com, I am not sponsored by any way, I just love them, has these. They're leather cups, and obviously there's a couple on the bottom and a couple on the top, and there are little snaps, which you can see, that hold it together. And it's a little heavier than just a leather pouch, not much. It really depends on how many brushes you put in it. But it is so convenient. Now this is the travel one, and I cannot remember the name of it, and it's not on here. But if you go to SigmaBeauty.com, you can find this. I'm always hold things up to my face so you can see size. This was the smaller travel one. This is the larger travel one, and I'm showing you. Obviously, if this had the lid on, it'd be almost double that size. I actually like this one a lot, though, because it can hold more. I don't have all my brushes in it right now, but yes, you're looking at, okay, so she brought this, and it's travel size, and the brushes are also travel size. They're smaller. What does that mean? Let's look at an angled, large angled contour. There's a large angled travel one, and here's the large angled regular one. So you can see the height difference. It just is shorter, so it's easier for travel. Now, can I tell you, sometimes I'm in the mood for a big long stick, and other times I'm in the mood for these little short ones. So I don't mind having this at any time. But especially when you're traveling, you want things to be shorter, easier, whatever. This, I think, is the Mr. and Mrs. Bunny, or Mr. Bunny. It's something about a bunny, because it is so dense and so soft that it made me fall even further in love with the Sigma brushes. And as you see, this is baby pink with the powder blue. And this is a large angled contour F40. Now, that being said, this is an SS 168, and that just means that it's a Sigma. I don't know what SS stands for, but anyway, it means it's the longer one. Now, these are, you know, the pro ones. They're usually long like this, but I like the little short ones. So, again, it's the exact same stuff. Like, this is a powder brush. See how short that is? And this is the large powder F30. Again, it's so soft, so dense. These are really good brushes, y'all. And sometimes I'll throw in brushes from other sets that I have just to fit in here. Like, this is part of my Too Faced Teddy Bear collection. That's another really soft one. And that's just a flat shader, I think. See, these don't have names on them. Sometimes that kind of tells me how serious the brush company is, because I don't think brushes is what they do. Too Faced does shadow insurance. They do palettes that are amazing, and they have a brush set, whereas Sigma is brush heavy. I mean, they have makeup as the secondary thing. Brushes is what they do. So, and I think they're every bit as good as MAC, if not better, and half the price. Like a full pro set is around $200 and something, and a full pro set of the exact same thing of MAC is about $450. So, and you don't have to buy a full set. You may not even need all those little extra brushes that professionals need. So I usually buy the smaller set. Like this little travel set was one of them. And then also, what was the other one I did? I think I did an eye set first, and then I went ahead and invested because I thought I really liked these, and I invested in a full the pink set, this one that I got, the SS set. That was a full set. But still, it wasn't near as many brushes or as expensive as regular. Again, I really like to take this one. Also, the important thing about this is when you take this on a trip, you have this sitting out on your counter, and it's so easy to get your brushes, and you can put other stuff in this. Like I sometimes will put my hairbrush down in there, or my toothbrushes and toothpaste in there, and it's all sitting up on the counter, and it's so convenient. And also, because of the way these sit in these little containers, they're free to move. They're not going to get squinched like they do in the padding ones or the other ones. I mean, there's just so many different kinds, but nothing compares to these. If you don't have a good set of brushes, get one from Sigma and get one of these containers. Look online, they have a bunch to choose from, so I won't even go into it. So that's one way. And then when I'm on my dressing table, I have some creative ways of putting things out. Y'all may have seen before that I put my extravaganza set out in this beautiful Irish crystal glass. And actually, there's a little lone that doesn't belong in there brush. And the reason is because this looks pretty sitting out on my countertop in my dressing area, because I have black, brass, and crystal as my accent pieces in there, decor-wise. And these are the 18 karat gold. This is part of the extravaganza set, which I've showed you before. And this is, for example, just a small Duofiber F55. You can see that on there. See how you see the names on there and the number? And that kind of tells you what they are. And also, when you get a brush set, it tells you what it's for. And people can use it for different things. For example, some people would use this as for a Duofiber. Some people would use this for a micro powder, for applying a micro setting powder. A liquid foundation, and I also have the large size for that. Whenever I do a liquid foundation, I use my F50. You can see that good. And this is just a smaller version of that. So you can use it for lots of things. And again, I like to, in swirling motions, put on liquid foundation with this, and it gives it an airbrush finish, and there's nothing quite like using this for liquid foundation. Whereas when you use a flat foundation brush like this is really good for liquid, but mostly for cream bases, because you put this on like this. You mash it, almost like you're painting. Like that. Like that. Okay, so there's a difference in the application. Okay, and then also, y'all have seen that I have the Velvet Luxe Flawless Face by IT Cosmetics. This is a 311. It's one of my favorite brushes. It's extremely dense and extremely soft. And to put my foundation on with this, it's an angled flat brush. And this is what I currently use for my Chanel foundation. And I can smooth it on and swirl it, or I can pat it down. This is like one of the best foundation brushes ever. It is very, very dense though, so you got to really clean it good. And then this is from that same line, the Velvet Luxe, which there's also another line from IT Cosmetics that is not quite as expensive, and it's not much more expensive. You have the Velvet Luxe line, but they're also awesome brushes. Where is one? I know I have one. Okay, I don't see one handy, but anyway, this is their Soft Focus Sculpting in 315. I don't know if you can see these little numbers on there because they're in silver on black. It's kind of hard to read. But see how this is wide this way, and then you turn it and it's very narrow. And that is good for cutting in bronzer. Right there. Right up. That's what you do with this brush. So I'm not going to go through every single brush because obviously when you get a brush set, you will get a little legend or whatever you call a little tutorial pamphlet usually that tells you what each brush is for. Sometimes you can use it for something different, like some people use this pencil liner, a pencil brush like this for underneath their eye and to smudge out a darker color. By the way, see how I'm holding this out? When you hold it further out, it's not as focused. When you hold it up close, it's extremely focused because of the pressure that you put. And that's great for doing under the lash line, the outer part of the upper lash line, and the outer V. And V means you do not come in any further than the outer part of your iris. And that's what makes outer V. And what do you do with that? That's where you use those dark colors like dark brown, dark plums, navies, black, blacks, we're going to use black. And then if you really want to get a good effect out of it, you can swirl it right on this edge, but stay in that outer V, and that's what this is great for. Now, I also like to line under my eyes with a short shader, and this is an E20 in the Sigma line, and again, this is the 18 karat ferrule where it's just pretty. But I would dab this down in whatever, and then I just use the edge, not the whole thing. Well, actually you can, but I use the edge to kind of line, and then as you see when I get halfway through how it's switching to the other edge, and it just makes a very focused, smudged eyeliner, like that. And you can, again, wing it out a little, a very soft wing, and get right on the lash line. And if you have already put on like a cream liner, you can fuzz it out a little bit with this. Anyway, so even though you're told the purpose of a brush, it can be really good what you decide that you want to use that brush for. Here's a great example. This brush is typically used, this is a large fluffy brush. It's an E50. Look at the size of that thing. And what people typically do is use this for highlighter, but I use this instead of brushing it on like that. I actually use it for patting it down right here for my crease shade. And usually this is a very light crease shade, like a caramel color. And I just kind of get right under the front of the brow, straight down, straight down, straight down, and fanning inward. And that gives me like a base to work from. And then as, you know, obviously as you get smaller, you get more focused. So I'll usually come in with the darker color in this small tapered blending brush, which is the E45. And that's where I'll take my darker color and kind of go in the crease, like that. And then once I'm finished with that, I will get an even more fanned out brush. This is a tapered blending brush, E35, one of the most famous brushes ever. Why? Because it is a dome shape versus the tapered shape. Look at the difference in these two. See, one's tapered, this one right here, and one's dome. And this is more diffuse, so guess what it does? It makes color more diffuse. So I'll write there, and then I start windshield wiper motions right here. And what this is used for is blending. Blendy, blend, 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 blend. So that you will have, you don't want harsh lines. Unless you're looking for an as you look, and that's what you went for in the first place. So anyway, experiment with different ones. Again, another way to hold your brushes. And here's another way I hold my brushes. This is a food canister for the kitchen. It's a very elegant one. It's this crackled glass, and I put all my large brushes in it. And I have a set of them on my dressing table. Now again, here's some IT Cosmetics. Here's my really big IT Cosmetics, and I think this is for bronzing. Now when I say bronzing, this is for like when you're giving yourself a tan. This isn't for cutting in. And again, here's another one, and this is from Marc Jacobs. Same thing. They're really usually large, very dense. And again, they're trying to place product, but not in a precise way. Here's another one. This one is from IT Cosmetics, but this is the Live Beauty Fully line, and it's even fluffier and softer. And then, of course, then you go to the Velvet Luxe. IT Cosmetics brushes, let me put my Marc Jacobs back down, are amazing brushes. That's two different lines within it. And then, of course, I have my Sigma. See the comparison? This is the Sigma one. It's a little more coarse. It's not quite as soft as these two. But then they're bunny lines within, what am I trying to say, within Sigma that are even softer. But this is just your basic start off. Love it. And then the last way that you can store your brushes is you can have them in a pouch. And sometimes, like this is my Charlotte Tilbury pouch. I have makeup in this one, but you could use a pouch, a cosmetic pouch for your brushes, or the flap over that it comes with usually. The other thing that I would say about brushes, very, very quickly, because I'm coming up on time, is that you need to make sure that you spot clean them with a really good spot cleaner. I recommend one and only, and I've tried tons of them, but I only recommend Mac's brush cleanser. It gets the stuff out. You can either use it on a paper towel, which is what I recommend, or you can get the Sigma. There's a little mitt that you can use. And then for deep cleaning, supposedly you use baby shampoo and rinse it with water. I have not found that to be very effective. And that's supposed to be the better way. I have found the better way to be to use the MAC brush cleanser. So anyway, That's all for now, and I'll see you again in my next video.